Guys, this is such an important topic to me because it's something that I've experienced in working, and this is ADHD in the ethnic black communities and minorities. I feel like when you're somebody that struggles with ADHD in the black community, you're either being punished and you're not being assessed. You're most likely to be diagnosed later on in life, and you're also gonna be defined as bad behavior, problematic, and a bad child, or you're just not going to be seen as somebody that's smart. You're just going to be pushed aside. And I think, like, when you're in the black community, you're most likely to be labeled as lazy or difficult person. And I find it very difficult because when you have an ADHD, it can be seen as mental health sometimes. But at the same time, think when you have ADHD and you're unaware of it, it can affect your relationships, your work life. It can affect a lot of areas in your life. And I feel like until you're diagnosed, you don't get you feel grief until you're diagnosed. That's when you get like a relief, because there's a lot of struggles, things that are meant to be normal, like, oh, why don't you, like, people just look at you like, okay, how come you don't know how to do this? Like, you might forget something that should not be forgotten. It's like, okay, why don't you know how to do this, why don't you know how to do that? And I just feel like, yeah, in the black community, and I've had conversations with this with a couple of people and they agreed as well. And it's kind of like some of the things that we go through when we have ADHD, like, people don't understand. It's like it can affect us in the workplace, it can affect us in our genuine lives, and it's unfair because we genuinely struggle with certain things and we don't get the help we need. So we have to continue life like that, and we kind of get dismissed. So, like, obviously, like, growing up being black, I have, obviously, like, my issues were overlooked because of someone else's problem. So it's kind of like, um people don't your parents don't understand. They'll just label you a certain type of way or treat you a certain type of way because growing up in an African background, everything is bad behavior, right? Anything you do that is not normal, or anything you do, it's either you get beaten by the belt, you get beaten by the cane, you just get beaten from it. They'll beat the ADHD out of you. But no, yeah, like, even I feel like most times some of us in the black community, black ethnic minorities, we get labeled as things like bad behavior, problematic, difficult, detention this, detention that, but they don't look further into the issue unless you're non-verbal or you show signs of like serious violence towards yourself and others. And the reason why I'm talking about this, because I know there's other people that may be going through this, and although, like, some disabilities aren't always seen, like, there's some things that really affect us. That it is a lot. And especially, being an ethnic minority, unless it's like severe and seen, like, you're just pushed aside. So why I say this, you will have problems, might have problems in your personal relationships, be it some people, they like to discuss, like, for example, if you're going through like depression or something, you're the type of person that likes to hide away, keep to yourself, and then it may cause arguments with people because they're like, okay, why are you talking to me, why don't you want to talk to me, why are you moving away from me? Like, it might cause arguments because what somebody will do that may confront a situation or enjoy the drama of a situation, or like talk about things openly. You're a person where your ADHD doesn't allow you to do that. Your ADHD doesn't know you're meant to reply back. Your ADHD doesn't see that it's wrong. Your ADHD doesn't understand, like, genuinely doesn't understand that I don't know I'm supposed to do this. Like, I didn't know I was supposed to communicate that I wasn't feeling happy. I didn't know I was supposed to communicate that I just don't want to talk to anybody. I didn't know that I just want to be by myself right now and isolated. Oh, well, my, like, it's just certain things. Like, you can have problems with relationships in terms of like communication, because ADHD does affect your communication, and the way you take things and the way you see things is not how other people see things. You may not feel like, okay, this is rude, or what I'm doing, it might be like something small. It could be so tiny that someone may see as a huge thing, and you're just seeing it as, well, I didn't mean it like that. This is just, you're just being genuine. And sometimes ADHD can really affect you, and I had this conversation with someone, and it's like sad because, like, some of us, like, we're not diagnosed, we go into the workplace, and you know we might forget to write something on a piece of paper, or might get to note something down, and then it's like you get shouted at, like, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that? And you're like, well, I didn't know that I was supposed to do this. And it's like, I'm not stupid, I'm not dumb, I'm not lazy, but it's like I can't explain it. It's like your ADHD doesn't know that you're supposed to do this, supposed to do that, or your ADHD may not allow you to focus, or you may jump from one thing to another. And it's very sad because you don't get the help you need, you don't get the support you need. Like, people that have support, they're able to, be able to manage through life comfortably, but you have to always fight for everything. Fight your way through life. Fight, because you're not getting backed or supported. You're not getting the benefits. You're not getting the allowances. You're not getting the disability that allows you the freedom to go here, go there, get the support you need, because everything you have to fight and do on your own. You have to do it on your own, even though you're struggling with a condition. Another way that ADHD, because I know that I struggle with hypersensitivity, and I've learned that hypersensitivity is a real thing, and I just genuinely thought that it's everybody that has this, and I didn't know that hypersensitivity is a real thing. And when I researched it, it was part of ADHD, and it's a severe thing, and I don't really like to talk about it, but it's a severe thing. And because there's other things going on in the world, like there's bigger problems, there's bigger issues, you never really feel like this issue is a big deal. So it is, because hypersensitivity does affect you, and you don't want people to know how much it affects you. So this hypersensitivity could be affected by sensory, touch, taste, smell. I know that I'm triggered by things like lights, when lights come on, even sound. I'm triggered by sound. Like, things people will think that is just normal, calm down, affects me. It could be like the sound of a car, it could be like you're inside and the sound from outside genuinely affects you. It could be like things people don't see that you see. Like, it could be the taste, the texture of things that irritate you, that make you feel uncomfortable. It can be certain programs you watch, certain lights, certain sounds that really affect you, certain things that really affect you, and it will affect you more than the average. So I'm hypersensitive, so this hypersensitivity affects me. Like, there's times where it affects my communication, it affects me going outside, and to somebody, me explaining it may just be like, because the way I look, it's just like, okay, whatever. But it genuinely does affect my health. The hypersensitivity, it could be like things, what people are doing. Like, it could be somebody doing something like putting on a jacket that might make me feel uneasy. Like, why do you have to put a jacket in front of me? Can you please do it there? It could be stuff like people sitting next to me. It could be weird stuff that people don't understand that genuinely affects me, and that affects my journey. Like, if I'm going to work or I'm going somewhere and I'm having a hypersensitivity attack, it does affect me, because I'm not easy. It's like that day, now I'm not having a good day anymore because I'm overstimulated, and feeling overstimulated, overwhelmed, people just might lash out or get angry or come across rude because we have not been diagnosed. So the only way to express that we are not feeling comfortable is by lashing out, because maybe being rude or lashing out, that's what makes us, help us relieve, because maybe on the inside we're feeling overwhelmed and we just don't know what to do. Whereas somebody that is diagnosed and has the help they need probably can cope better than person. And I just feel like most times that's what happens in the black community, because we're just labeled as aggressive, angry, this, that, and the other. And a lot of us haven't had the help that we need, especially growing up. We've not had the help that we need. So we just grow up being undiagnosed adults, seen as problems to society, when we're not. We have certain things that, we haven't had help with. And I guess, that's, I don't, it's a very sensitive topic, but as a problem in the black community with ADHD and autism that has not been diagnosed. It may not be there's verbal and there's non-verbal, and it may not be physical or like really seen, but I think there are people in the black community that have not been diagnosed or getting the right help or right treatment, and everything is seen as mental health when it's not mental health. Some of it is ADHD and autism, especially in the black community. Everything is shunned. It's like we're just labeled. It's just labeling a personality when it's not. It's a condition that we haven't actually researched or looked into. And one thing, ADHD, people in the black ethnic minorities community show that has ADHD, that's a positive, is they have the high level of creativity and problem solving skills, and they also have a strong sense of empathy and emotion as well. Have emotional awareness. Most likely, people that have ADHD and autism, and definitely are empathetic, don't have issues with like working with certain kids. Like me personally, I don't go around going, I'm a carer, I look after children, I look after children, because it's genuine. It's not like if it's a burden for you, it's not genuine in your character to do charity. To be like, oh, I do have to do charity. No, 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 I don't have to do that. Then it's not genuine. It's not in your character to be charitable. If you know it's a problem for you, it's not genuine and it's not in your character to do it. So with me, when I was looking after the children, yes, like there's work politics or whatever, whatever. I genuinely felt like a connection to children and that I was working with autism, ADHD, and they felt a connection towards me. They like even like when I'm not working with them anymore, they always asking about me, always talking about me to their families, always feel like I understand them, because when I started working with them I started understanding myself better. I was like, hold on, their one is to extreme, but I go through this as well. Like I understand where they're coming from because I am going through this. Like I understand the anxiety, I understand the detachment, I understand the fear, I understand what they're going through. But their one is to an extreme. But I kind of understand because I feel like, and that's why I feel like I have it, because I really understand them. Like nothing they do makes me feel like this is over the top. Even if it's non-verbal, that's to the extreme. But there's levels, and I kind of started to understand like, okay, I have it, because when I started working with them and learning from them, I was learning from them and I was understanding that I have it too, because I have an understanding. And that's why, you know I guess, it's just a high level of empathy. It's a high level of awareness. It's an awareness. I think that's what it is, an awareness. But they have an awareness, maybe to an extreme, but they can't cope with the awareness they have. And I feel like I have that too. And that's what ADHD and anxiety comes from, a lot of empathy, having an awareness, maybe having like a very high level of intelligence, because I feel like the children that I worked with, their level of intelligence is higher than most adults. They can, read, write, and say things that adults don't even know about. So I know it's a high level of intelligence, maybe that they can't handle for themselves. And most likely that's where all of this comes from, having high levels of everything, an extreme of everything.